This is the WNYC, which is public radio in New York City, and I helped moderate a panel about halal food business owners in New York City. And it was a really great conversation about the challenges, the surprises about being in the halal industry in New York City. There's a lot of young people in the city. There's a lot of people that are being attracted to the brand of halal, the so-called brand, because of it represents wholesome cleanliness. It's infused with values, and I think it reflects the people that are interested in it reflect the sort of the growing nature of the community in New York. Anytime you have public radio combining with the community in a way that on what we're already interested in, I think you get a really good conversation, really healthy, robust conversation. So I think it was a really awesome event. I think the Jerome L. Green space where we're at is something where it's very visible to the street and to the community. So people could walk by and look and see what was happening. So just even that alone, I think, is a really awesome thing to happen.
We have about 55 products sold in over 12,000 stores in all 50 states nationally. We're the largest halal company in America by far on a national basis. We are in everything from frozen entrees. We don't do any fresh meats or halal meats. That's not our business model. We're selling value-added products like frozen entrees in all sorts of cuisines, Indian, Thai, Pakistani, Korean, Mexican. And then we also have a line of snacks, organic chickpea snacks. We also have a line of simmer sauces and halal broths. We're the only halal broths in Tetra Pak, and everything that we do is zabia halal, meaning hand-slaughtered, as well as the fact that everything we do is antibiotic-free and hormone-free. And alhamdulillah, in only 4 years, we're now the #1 protein entree in the whole country, whether halal or not. We are beating companies like Lean Cuisine, which is owned by Nestle or Stouffer's. We're ahead of companies like Kashi, which is owned by Kellogg. We have essentially taken out Ethnic Gourmet, which is owned by Hain Foods. So obviously our marketing is working, and our marketing is very centralized and specifically targeted to the millennial consumers. I think it's a wonderful event, and I think what's most wonderful about it is that the venue is New York, the production is NPR, the space is the green space, which melds well with what we're about. Unlike other halal suppliers out there, we're very devoted to environmental activism. So the green and the green environmental movement, especially Brother Ibrahim, who wrote The Green Dean, of which there's a chapter on us in that book, mixes and, complements very much our values around environmental activism, around organic farming, around making sure everything is zabia and especially tayyib. Since we do everything tayyib, and we don't just say it, a lot of brands out there will say that they're antibiotic-free or they're gluten-free. We make sure that we have third-party certifiers, auditors who come in and verify all the claims we make. So we like the fact that New Yorkers especially are attracted to these values.
We decided to put a panel together, talk about how halal is growing in New York. And I think it was a great learning event for everyone. I think everyone learned something new out of it today. And then, once this goes live online and on TV, I think we'll be educating a whole lot different crowd.
The Eating Halal event, I think, brought a lot of perspective to where the halal industry is today. And where it grew from comparatively 10, 20, 30 years ago, I think set a very strong statement in terms of where the potential is for growth down the line. And I think bringing together people who work at different facets of the industry, provided a very rich conversation to be able to understand that halal is something that's much deeper than at times we really reflect on. Honest Chops is an initiative that came out of our community at New York University, where we brought together some community members, some alumni, and we were trying to build out a series of initiatives that would help create revenue to help establish and build social services the community was in need of, domestic violence shelters, free clinics, things like that. So Honest Chops was one of a series of initiatives that we launched in the last couple of years. We found that there was no halal meat store in Manhattan, and so we sought to build out and fill that gap. When we started to do research, we found that the alternatives that existed both in the halal industry as well as the commercialized meat market and industry was something that didn't really undergo a strong sense of ethics. Animals weren't treated well, they weren't raised properly, employees weren't treated well. There was a lot of things that were problematic. So we shifted from being just halal to also ensuring that we were tayyib, offering a certain kind of transparency and purity and high quality in terms of the treatment of the animal, what is being fed, how it's being raised, the treatment of our employees, as well as just a very strong connection and care for our customers, and building a relationship with them uniquely, as opposed to just seeing them as consumers that come in and come out, and we don't know their name, we don't know anything about their family, we don't really know where they're coming from.